you said that you kind of heard yourself, or when you were reading the words, had that connection. I guess I'm just asking more specifically, what did you like about Kathryn? Was it connections to, you said that you did summers on a farm? Was it kind of that world that it took place in too? Or
That was some of it. My grandparents had a 20-acre grape farm outside of Fresno, California, in Selma, and I spent all my summers there and, helped my grandmother cook and clean and bake and help my grandfather out and pick grapes, I think it's her strength.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she's not a victim.
No.
Even in the end, I don't see her as a victim. It just...
She's a fighter.
She's a fighter. Yeah.
And really, she'll do, right? She will do anything. That was an important thing for me writing all the characters, is like the gray area. I didn't want anyone to feel like good, bad, right? I didn't want heroes and villains.
Right.
I wanted like real people and
understandable. Why we understand them. We understand why they act the way they do.
Yeah. Kathryn's, she's, in my opinion, she always sees the big picture and kind of relates all of her decisions to, like really the big picture, not just the farm, but the farm's place in the world and the relationship with the environment. Like, she's not just, because maybe some other people, some of the men maybe in the story, they're kind of in the near term, like, I need to fix this right now with the option that's available to me right now. Whereas she's kind of thinking down the road further about the consequences of those decisions. Sure, right now doing this thing might solve this problem, but how many more problems are you going to create next, in the next year or two or something like that? She has that foresight, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she's older than all of them.
All right. So then we brought you on board. We had conversations with you over the phone, which was very nice to talk about the character and kind of I think even then, you had a couple questions about the script and some of the concepts of the script, which I really appreciated, because you kind of set up that openness from the start of having that dialogue and that collaboration. I think I kind of knew at that point that, because from my point of view, it's like, oh, wow, Adrienne Barbeau. Okay, great. Adrienne Barbeau is going to be in our movie. This is awesome. But then it was the collaboration that was like, okay, Adrienne Barbeau is going to take this character and this story kind of to the next level. I really appreciated that collaboration. And I think that you kind of like opened the door to that from the beginning, that partnership, which was exciting and most appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciated it too. We're open to it.
And it was a quick shoot. So then we bring you onto set, right? And I'm trying to remember. You were there for we filmed for 3 weeks, and I feel like maybe you were there the second and the third week, because I know you were there the last day we filmed, which was the Demolition Derby.
Yes. Yeah.
So I feel like you were probably there for the last 2 weeks. So we were already kind of rolling and into the organized chaos of
yes,
independent filmmaking.
Mark had taken over. Hadn't Mark taken over as AD?
AD.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was
great. Yeah, we had to fire our AD on the second day, which you can imagine is an important role to let go. And Mark, it was just that kind of a film. Yeah, Mark was a great AD.
Yes, he was.
Which actually, he doesn't get credit for that in the film. That was his choice, but he did wear many hats. How many films have you been on that level? So we were technically, you know, we were a SAG production, but yes, we were a low budget. I know you've worked on things big and small. What are the big differences? I mean, you don't necessarily have to talk about our production specifically, but I can take constructive criticism. What are the things? What are the major differences that you see between good or bad between larger productions and more intimate, let's call it, indies?
Well, it really, they're all so individual and it depends so much on the people. I would say with the indies, there is more of an intimacy isn't the right word. Everybody sort of pulls together and
Okay, like a camaraderie.
Yes, and you get to know people better, and there's sort of a sense that you're all working to do the best you can in the shortest period of time, you know. With the large films, it's like, oh, this is more of a job. I mean, you're working for people, and it's not as much of a family. That's what it is. It's not
Okay. So do you in some ways then prefer, in some ways, you prefer the smaller, intimate camaraderie family feel, or doesn't it always work out?
Yeah, it doesn't always work out. And again, it really depends on the project and the people involved. I mean, I've done a couple, I wrote about them in the memoir, that were they were nightmares, you know. Every one of them has a different personality, I think, and that comes from the top, and that came from you, the two of you, and from Mark, and it was good.
One of the roles we had to change right before production was in our costume department. Jerry Olszewski was originally the assistant, and we needed to bump her up into the role of our costume designer and wardrobe. You brought some pieces along for your character. Do you want to talk about some of those and that decision, and maybe working with Jerry on the look of Kathryn? I'm curious.
Jerry was great. I mean, we had sort of established the look before I got there, and as is often the case in low budget independents, for me at least, the more I can pull from my own wardrobe, the more comfortable I am, because I know it's going to fit and I'm going to like it, and I'm not going to get on the set with a costumer who's picked out stuff that it's like, well, do you have a tailor at least? Do you have a seamstress that can take this in or let that out, or and I had maybe 2 years prior, I had done a film in Arizona that had sort of a Western feel.
Okay.
And I remember going to the Boot Barn here in Los Angeles, or some country Western store, with my cell phone, and FaceTiming the director as I was trying on different shirts. And I mean, my entire shoe wardrobe is primarily cowboy boots. That's all I've ever worn for 30 years or so.
So that's like your signature, the cowboy.
So that wasn't anything I had to worry about. So I had these shirts, and I don't remember who Jerry replaced, but whoever that was, I think we had photographed back and forth.
Okay.
And you like this color better or this color better? I know these work. I know they fit, and I brought my own jeans, and I think I brought my own hat, or maybe Jerry had the hat. I can't remember. I don't know. But she was great in, just keeping me organized and making suggestions. And so that was all easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes
Is there
it's
anything?
not. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's not. I had done another one in Pennsylvania just prior to working with you all,
Oh, wow.
where the costumer went after her assistant with a mat knife and tore up a lot of the things and took some of them, so that we were in
Whoa.
the middle of a scene and, shooting 2 separate days, and she had damaged all the clothes. I mean, there was some
Oh,
problem.
man. Wow. I thought we had problems. Jeez.
No, you didn't have any problem comparatively speaking. So
Okay. Wow. So what made you choose those boots specifically? Since you have a boot collection, I'm curious if there was some detail or something where they beat
I
up.
think it probably, did I wear the same pair every day? I can't remember. Maybe I did.
I feel like you did. I think
I
you did.
probably did. They were probably my favorites that I did, that were the most beat up. Sometimes I'll coordinate them with, the colors. I mean, if I'm wearing a black shirt, then I've got red and black boots, and
Yeah.
I mean, I've got them in every color. And so they were whatever went with everything. But I'll have to go back and look at some of the and see which one I was wearing. I don't remember.
That's all right. I remember you enjoyed the corn, so we filmed, of course,
corn
on
was great.
location.
That corn was great.
And those guys were great, like the two brothers there that run Leshevsky Farm that we were filming at. Yeah. Did you enjoy?
It was a great location. I really enjoyed it.
We were out there. We were out there in the middle of nowhere.
And then on my day off, I walked. What's the aisle? There's an
Presque
aisle.
Isle.
Yes, I walked all of that.
Oh,
and,
did you? Yeah, Presque Isle is great.
Yeah.
So you got some downtime in Erie then, a little bit.
I had
a little bit
of downtime. A little bit of downtime. I think I spent some of it looking for gluten-free foods.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really happy experience all around.
What are you working on now besides the big project, the big book?
The big project, and I just finished working on. Let me see exactly how this is. A project called The World to Come, which is a musical sci-fi fantasy adventure saga audio series.
Wow.
It's it was born out of the pandemic. The writers and producers were primarily involved in New York theater and can't do that anymore. So they created this really fascinating. I mean, they call it an audio series. It's a podcast, I guess. In a post-apocalyptic world with no internet or electricity, 5 disparate factions vie for dominance in the city-state of Fiveborough, and each one of the factions represents a pop culture. So there's the cartoonists, there's the fan size, there's the Sherlock Holmes, I think. The telenovelas, the Criterion Collective, which is independent art films.
That would probably be me, yeah.
Yeah. The Hepburners, they like their stories in black and white. And it's a musical.
Oh, wow.
So I had to learn a couple of songs. I think they've got 25 people in the cast, and they're all Broadway stars. One of the fellows played Spider-Man in Spider-Man Turn Off the Light on Broadway, and
Nice.
Drew in Rock of Ages. And so it was really fun. It was, and that will be, I think my episode will drop in March.
Okay.
And then the project I was doing in New Zealand, again, I can't talk about it by name, but it was a Netflix series.
Okay. Do you know when that's supposed to come out or not yet?
No, I don't. Okay. I think they just finished filming probably in January.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I'm just a guest star
on
one of those episodes. And what else is going on? I think that, and then the Grease Tell Me More, which hopefully will be out just in time for the anniversary.
How's it been during the pandemic?
I've been very fortunate. What I do when I'm not acting is I do video describing for the blind for movies and television series, and so that keeps me busy. And I've been able to do most of them from my home. We hook me up with the engineer who's somewhere else and the producer who's somewhere else, and I'm describing the action in between the dialogue for people who are visually impaired. I just did a terrific movie. I guess I can't talk about any of these, but it's the one way I end up seeing a lot of these horror films because Blumhouse uses video describing for most of their projects. I do SEAL Team. I'm doing something right now. Now, again, I don't know how much I can say in advance, but that keeps me busy a couple of days a week when I'm not acting. So it's
it's been an interesting year. I mean, we'll all be refreshed, right? And ready to, I mean, you're already into a bunch of projects. I'm just looking forward to having the movie released finally so that people can see your great work and get into some good creative headspace.
Yes.
I had a bit of a blockage there towards the end of the summer and early fall where I honestly just couldn't write. I
understand.
Yeah.
I
understand. It was difficult.
It's been hard.
Yeah.
But we're fortunate in that, at least I am very fortunate in that I've been able to, so many people have suffered so much more.
Oh yeah.
So much more. And we've lost some friends, and but hopefully
yes,
if we keep wearing our masks,
that's right,
and social distance,
yes,
we'll be okay.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Adrienne. It's been a pleasure to meet you and get to know you, and let's see where this film and this road take us, right?
Yes, and the sequel, or
That's
maybe
right.
the sequel, or whatever it is.
That's right.
But if you've got a way to bring Kathryn back, I'll be there.
Awesome. Cinema Activist is produced by Lions Den Productions, hosted by John C. Lyons. Music by Tony Gray. Support the efforts of Lions Den Productions by becoming a patron at patreon.com/LionsDenProductions. Thank you for listening. We'll be back soon.